Hi, welcome to A Pod with Two J's. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Jill.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Here we are, episode 7. Lucky number 7.
Really? Wow. Hard to believe.
I know, right? So, busy weekend, lots to talk about.
How was your weekend?
It was really good. What did we do? So baseball's back for my son. So he had 2 doubleheaders, but we actually missed it on Saturday because back in 2019, he won the national championship for Canada for his team. So he got inducted into the Little Cambridge Sports Hall of Fame.
So cute. That's awesome.
It was really cute. He was actually inducted with another NHL hockey player that played for Winnipeg, Brian Little. I don't know if that didn't ring a bell for me, but it was kind of cool. So they had a little ceremony. He got to see all his own teammates.
That's nice.
And they fell right back into each other, just like, bonds that never die, on teams like that.
For sure.
That was nice. And so we did that Saturday, and then he had the doubleheader Sunday. Second game got rained out, though. So, yeah, we're full bore ahead. How was your weekend?
It was busy.
Good.
Did a lot of running around and caught up on a lot of things. Went to a party on Saturday morning at 5:30.
Nice. For the
coronation
of the king. So what do you think about that?
Well, you know what? It was interesting to watch. I think that I'm intrigued by the whole history. I found it a bit too long, a little bit too many hymns, a lot of religion in it. Probably a lot more, I think, than typical. I was intrigued by one of the women that was in the ceremony because she was front and center. She had that teal dress on with the hat and the gold. I was so curious, so I had to Google her and figure out who she was.
She was very elegant.
She was very elegant, and I thought, wow, she's just, who is she, first of all, and why is she, why is she in that role? And her name is Penny Mordaunt. She's a British MP.
Okay.
Who is not only the leader of the House of Commons, but also Lord President of the Privy Council. She was front and center, wielding the 17th century sword of state, becoming the first female to present this priceless artifact to the monarch.
Wow. I was fascinated by the sheer history and ceremony of it all. Over 1,000-year time period, they've been doing this. There aren't very many places in the world that hold up these kind of ceremonial traditions.
Well, look at the carriage alone. Did you see it? It was gold leaf, so it's made out of wood, but gold leaf over top of it. Apparently, it's one of the most uncomfortable rides you'll ever have because it just shakes. Right?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. But yeah, I mean, the Brits are a proud people, and you got to hand it to them. Majority of them love the monarch. They love the royalty, and they're, long live the king, as they say.
And what about Queen Camilla? I don't know if I'd like to call her Queen.
Queen Camilla consort or whatever.
I don't know. Did they add the consort onto it? Did you notice her necklace?
No.
Oh, I did right away.
Oh, yeah? I just wondered how heavy those crowns were and if they were going to pass out at any point.
Right. So her necklace was from Queen Victoria. It was all diamonds all the way around it, but the center one was 22 carats. Caught my eye right away. What a charming piece of jewelry. Yeah. I think I remember seeing the crown, the first one he had, because there was 2. The one for the service and then the one that he wore after and when I was in the Tower of London.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I don't know. I thought Kate looked beautiful. She had like a leaf crown.
It was beautiful. And her daughter had a mini version.
Yeah.
Very elegant.
Very elegant. Very elegant. Then they had the big concert last night, which I forgot about and didn't watch because I was watching something else, which we'll get into after.
Yeah, but it was a fun party. It had mimosas and some food and coffee and Baileys.
Yeah, did you wear a hat?
No, I wore my PJs.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
It was so early, I'd left the house with my cute jammies on.
They definitely uphold the stiff upper lip tradition. The monarchy is not... Again, I'm just fascinated by the history of it all. It's like a Game of Thrones episode or like it's just...
That's what Kate looked like. She just transported it like that.
It's just... I'm fascinated by all of it.
Let's talk sports.
So sports, big sports weekend too.
Oh yes, the Oilers crushed it. They came out with a convincing win. Fantastic.
Yep, they play tonight. We are obviously recording this Monday night.
They do. They play at 8:30 tonight, so we're hoping they can come out and have another convincing win, which would be fantastic. And it's funny, you watch Draisaitl, who's easy to watch, and McDavid, and their star players. Yeah. And they continue to play so well, even during the playoffs. Yeah. It's like there's nothing that's going to hold them back. And then you want to switch over to last night's game.
In drastic comparison to the Tavareses and the Matthews.
The Nylanders and the Marners. And
who haven't put a point together. And I'm sorry, the Leafs deserve to lose that game. They're down 3-0 in the series. That's a do or die the next game, and I don't think they're going to make it on. And unfortunately, it's going to be another disappointing year for them. I don't see them pulling off 4 games in a row. The way that they're playing.
No, not the way that they're playing. It would be a surprise and an amazing feat if they could do that for the city of Toronto. But I wouldn't put my life on it. Probably wouldn't even bet $5.
No. So I hope all you fans are just happy with the second round. Exciting news for me. The NFL schedule is released this week on Thursday. I'm super excited about that. That's when I take my calendar out, write down all my Chiefs games, and decide which game I want to go to this year.
Very fun. That's exciting. And tonight we also have the NHL Draft Lottery.
Yes.
So we'll see where Bedard goes to.
Yeah.
Hoping he goes to the Habs. That would be a nice addition to their lineup.
They do need a little...
They need a lot.
Boost. Yeah, a lot boost. Speaking of tradition in the Crown, the Kentucky Derby race this weekend. It's been going on since 1875. It's a 2-minute long race. 2 minutes. Can you imagine?
I would love to go. I would love just the whole ceremony and the whole like wearing the hat and drinking the mint
juleps.
Juleps, right?
Yeah.
I've heard they're terrible, but I still want to try one.
I mean, again, just like the ceremony and the tradition of
the history.
All. So the horse that came out of that is named Madge. The favorite in that race had to pull out day of. Now they go on to the Preakness, I think, is next, because they go on to be potentially the Triple Crown.
Mm-hmm.
The last Triple Crown winner was 2018. That horse was called Justify. So there you go. I think that's all that was going on in sport. A baseball was going on. The Jays swept Pittsburgh.
They did. So are we that good, or is Pittsburgh that bad?
Well, it's still so early, right? Like
I know, but they literally just killed them in each game.
And then we got swept by Boston, so I don't know.
I think I'm going to put that on my bucket list because I watched a little bit, not the whole game, but just little bits in here. And somebody I know was at the game too. And I'm like, it looks like a pretty cool stadium.
Oh, so
it looks beautiful. I love to be able to see the buildings. You see the bridge behind it.
It is beautiful. I had a baseball tournament last summer and the whole team went, and it is gorgeous.
It's not a far drive.
So the Allegheny River.
Yeah. And somebody jumped in the river to get a ball on the weekend.
Yeah. I think that was from, I can't remember, it was a Blue Jay that shot in there. Anyway, yes, it's a beautiful stadium. That in Detroit. So luckily, he had 2 baseball tournaments and we got to go to both games. But honestly, Pittsburgh Stadium is gorgeous. Yeah. It's a cool thing to go. If you get away anywhere, like for a weekend or something, and there's a game in town, that's always cool. Anyway,
I agree with you. Wow, we're sports girls, though. Not everybody would say that's a great thing.
Guess not.
Right?
Not everybody wants to do that? No. They don't base their trips around sports?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I definitely do base my trips around sports.
Yes, you definitely do.
Hence why I can't wait for the NFL schedule to come out. I'm thinking I'm going to hit up... Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet, and the Chiefs play the Jets. So, that might be a little weekend to go see in New York. Be cold.
That's okay.
But that's okay. Cold.
I'd love to go to a big stadium. Just the whole vibe would
feel
be
the
really
tailgating.
Cool.
The tailgating is like
the tailgating, just jump into it. It'd be a great experience, for sure.
The tailgating is like, honestly, it's just an experience in and of itself. Never mind the game. You just go for the tailgating.
Right. I'm there for the social.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever wins, wins.
Exactly. Okay.
Let's check in. I wanted to just check in on you after our podcast number 5.
Yeah.
Just to get an idea of where you're at. Because I know you were struggling quite a bit that week.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, blended families, feeling alone.
Yeah.
Nice girls finished last.
Yes.
There's a long list.
It was.
So maybe
it's a long list.
You want to give me an update on any of those points?
So, without giving away too many personal details about my significant other situation. Significant other? Is that what I call him? Yeah. Man friend? I don't know.
Man friend? I don't know. I don't have a boyfriend or a man friend, for that matter.
What would you call them?
If I was dating someone, I would just call him my friend.
No!
I don't know.
Ugh.
Okay, well then just skip all that.
So we're better than we were. Like, things are moving slowly. Slower than I moved things along in my divorce. I guess that's the only thing I can compare it to. And everybody's divorce and everybody's emotions are different and everybody's stances are different on what they demand. It's slower, but it's moving. I'm seeing progress in him that's giving me confidence that this is going to progress. All that aside, we have made a deal with each other that we are moving ahead. We're focusing on each other. And I have met his children, and we're going to continue to do things together and grow. And
blend your families.
And blend our families. Yeah, because I, at 46 years old, am not living my life for anybody else but me.
He's taking on a whole new role that he hadn't had.
Correct.
This is all very new to him.
Yeah.
The solo parenting.
Yeah. And
and not that he was a hands-off dad before, but somebody else managed all of it. It's different. It's difficult to find your rhythm.
There's so much I want to say, and perhaps when this is all said and done, and there's ink to paper, we can say it all, because there's just...
Yeah, you're right. It's better left. Some things you can share at a later date.
We had a long talk after this. I told him my stance, and I said, we're either moving forward or we're moving on, because I can't be held back by somebody else's issues about what we're doing in our life. I want to move forward with him, and I want him to move forward. I feel like we reached the top of the mountain and we both exploded and kind of had a really big emotional conversation. And I just said, I've just reached my point of not being able to continue the way that we were continuing. Like, at all. So I think now we're cruising. We're back to discussing everything. I know everything about this situation. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but this is our life now, and he needs to do what's right for us. And not just what's right for him anymore. What's right for his children, obviously they come first, and what's right for us. Like, period. I've waited long enough.
I know.
And he's well aware that's where I stand, that I've waited long enough. So we have had conversations about that.
But there's definitely going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
It's not an easy transition.
We're just dealing with protecting everybody in the best interest of everybody, and making sure that there's not going to be anybody out there that's going to jeopardize anything to do with our children. Because it's not okay to do that to people.
Of course not.
Trickling down to hurting more people than the people you're intending it to hurt.
When I sit back and think about how people have these complicated bullshit lives going on right now, where they wouldn't want to fucking get better.
I know.
Why do you want to live in this psycho fucking world? Why do you want to live with resentment and hate? Why would you want that to be how you feel in your life?
I don't know.
It's so stupid for people to sit there and think, well, it's hard to look in the mirror. Mm. Self-reflection is really a kick in the ass. Mm-hmm. And not everybody can manage it.
So when I heard about some things, and I can't understand the unkindness of that kind of behavior.
No. Well, I don't either.
But this is a great transition to our heavier topic of the day, where you can't look in the mirror and you can't see yourself.
For who you really are.
For who you really are.
Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad.
Right? And so that's like self-reflection, and then there's body image that goes along
with that. My take on it might be a little different from personal experience. Mm-hmm. I think that I wasn't one that grew up in my 20s. I mean, I was confident in some ways, but I was always looking at the other women thinking, oh, you know what? She's cuter. She's got bigger boobs. She's just, there was a lot of things that I didn't like about my body, but your body is your body.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as you age, confidence becomes, and you just grow into your body and love your body.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that I'm some runway model because I'm far from it. But would I wear a bikini to the yacht club and suntan? Damn right I will. And if you don't want to look at my body, don't fucking look at my body. I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Do I have a perfect stomach from having 3 babies? Absolutely not.
Jeez, you'd be a anomaly if you did.
Right? But I think people are always looking for perfection because we see it on TV. Everyone's getting like face jobs and Botox and fillers and boob lifts and implants and fake this and fake, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with growing old gracefully. I think it's very attractive. Mm-hmm. Men can do it, and men are sexy as they age. Watch what I eat, as in I have a well-balanced diet. Like most people. You do too, right? I like snacks. I like to, have whatever I want.
But you like food,
I like food.
A veggie and a starch and a meat.
Yes, yeah. I like a well-balanced meal. I will take a bigger plate of food than I will ever dessert. That's just me. I'm not a sweet girl.
And your food, just that you cook, you cook your food. You don't throw a prepackaged meal in the oven. You're cooking your food.
Yeah, 90% of the time.
There's a lot to be said for, and I think, I could be wrong, you're not eating processed food. You're eating food.
Lots of boys want takeout occasionally.
Right,
but real food. I like real food.
I think a lot of people eat frozen meals is what I'm trying to say.
No, we don't eat a lot of frozen meals. I think that women can be mean to each other. And I've had this experience before so I'm very selective of what snacks I eat and how much I proportion. I'll give you an example. I get called out a lot for what I don't eat. So I'll have a handful of cashews. I look for the healthy stuff. So proportion-wise, I eat a lot smaller portions than some people. And that's just, I don't have as big of an appetite. But I get called out on it all the time. You're too skinny. You don't eat enough. And I'm thinking, do I say to you, you're too fucking fat and you've had too much?
Right? And I wrote down here when Julie was talking, you don't have to be a glutton to make others feel better.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to eat what they think you should eat
to make them feel better.
To make them feel
about
better.
Their own intake of food. We all have our personal... Right. But I would never call somebody out for overeating, but I'm called out because in their mind, they think I undereat.
It's interesting that you say that because so many people say, oh, you're overweight, you're this or that. But what about the people, and people are going to be like, oh my God, Jill, it's not the same. But what about the people that are always called skinny? You're too skinny, You're too skinny. I mean, I don't get called that anymore, but growing up, I certainly did. You're too skinny, you need to eat more. Well, I don't say you're too fat, you need to eat less.
That's my point. Exactly.
What makes one worse than the other? Just because socially it's better to be skinny, so it's okay for you to say that? It's almost like they've made it socially acceptable to call you skinny and socially unacceptable to call them fat.
Right. So even to the point
and I think it's the same thing.
I can't even stand it sometimes. I'll wear a very tight pair of pants, which I don't often. But my leather pants with a long shirt, whatever. One lady asked me, she's like, turn around. I want to see what they look like on you to see if you have any of that stuff on the back of your legs. I'm like, you mean the fat pockets?
What?
And I said, I'm happy to turn around for you because you won't see those on my legs.
Jesus. But you walk, you play tennis, you're active.
Yeah. No, they just want to find something wrong in their mind.
Wow.
It's just so stupid. I mean, it doesn't bother me a lot, but sometimes I sit and I think, this is so fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
It's so wrong. I would never say to you, oh my God, Jill, why would you take that? That's just way too much food.
Right. I'd be like, oh.
Right.
I won't eat it then.
I'd be shaming you. What do you think you're doing to me?
I know.
It's the same thing. It's just so body. I mean, I don't care what they think about my body, but it's so wrong what they do.
They're shaming you in a way that they feel like they're not shaming you because you're skinny. Does that make sense? They're shaming you, but they think it's socially acceptable because they're not calling you fat.
Oh, it's like, don't ask Julie. She won't eat that.
Oh.
Okay. You actually want a big slab of chocolate cake today. So, like, just
You
throwing
should
it out there.
You should take one day and just slather that shit all over your face. Be like, oh, it's really good.
I just want to fuck with your mind. So
Yeah.
give me a huge
Right?
piece. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But there's really serious. So I have someone in my family who has an eating disorder.
Okay.
Somebody very close to me, and who has a very awful relationship with food.
Okay.
Doesn't even like to eat. There's nothing that this person likes that they sit and say, or I'd be like, oh, I feel like a steak tonight. We should go out for a steak. They don't crave food. They don't like the taste of food. They don't like the texture of food. Eating food is a chore where I find it to be enjoyable. So that's a complicated problem to have.
Are they in therapy?
No.
It's all mental.
It's a mental health
It's
issue.
things, if you don't understand it, it's nearly impossible to understand.
It's tough for me. It's tough for me to wrap my head around it. I'm very patient and kind about it, but I also quietly become extremely frustrated with it because I know it's a mental health issue and you have to change the way you think about food. So I'm all about let's get some help, right? Because if there's a problem, I tell my children this all the time. If there's a problem, we look for the solution. If you look at the problem, you're just going to get stuck in this cycle of the problem. Look for a solution. What is the solution? It could be 6 solutions. The first step is calling and asking for help, right? That's a solution. Second one is going to your appointment. Third is keeping your commitment to your appointment. Fourth is seeing your dietitian. Like it's all part of getting better, but one step has to go into the other. It's hard to make that first step sometimes.
Do they know why they regulate the food? Are they punishing themselves in some way? Is it a body image thing? Or is it more like a control? I can't control anything else, but I can control what I put in. I'm not
It's a combination
expert,
of
sometimes a lot of it is just like the only thing that they can. Everything else is so mumble jumble that this is.
Well, I think a lot of it is anxiety. And anxiety, if you're an anxious person or if you've ever had any anxiety in your life, I have, you know what that's like. You're on this treadmill of just high stress. Your heart rate is up all the time and you're not really hungry because...
And when you eat, you don't feel good and it upsets your
stomach. So I think it becomes a cycle, but I think if you let it go too long and too long, too long. But I remember asking my therapist during one of my sessions, because sometimes we would just chat about stuff because I enjoyed her company so much. And sometimes I didn't just bitch about my life for 45 minutes. I'd said to her, so can you tell me about eating? I said, some people eat when they're stressed out to the point of where they can't stop. And then other people don't. And she said, well, how do you feel when you're stressed? I said, full. And she said the other people that feel this vacant part, they're just looking to fill that void.
Right.
And they do it with food. So I was reading a lot about eating disorders, and anorexic is obviously the worst one you can have because they can get to such a low body weight. But this person in my life has they're on the very low end of the scale.
So this person in your life, do you feel like they're not binging and purging?
No. It's not that at all.
So they're just anorexic.
No. So there's anorexic, there's bulimic, and then there's one that's a food aversion where you just where you avoid food. It's an avoidance because you can control it, right? You can control it. But this particular person doesn't even like food. Texture, the smell, the look. It's a big problem.
Yeah. That's a deep beyond us problem.
That's not something, no, it's definitely somebody with a degree in therapy or eating disorders, dietitian, a whole gamut of people.
Yeah. I'm sure the anxiety plays into it. The being able to keep something under control. Potentially.
So, yeah.
A lot of people struggle with it. Like you would be
I would say more people than not struggle with their body image.
And that includes like...
I'm not talking just women.
That includes like...
Men too.
Of
course. It's so true.
So...
It's true. We talked about that date I went on with that really, really gorgeous guy.
That's right.
And after 15 minutes, I was done.
That's right. I would rather be with somebody who's...
Intelligent.
Yeah.
Charming.
Like...
Good values. The list is long.
Like the hot ones are just for a night and then you got to boot them.
Just maybe 4 hours.
They're just here for a good time, not a long time.
See ya. I didn't get your number. No, you didn't.
Yeah, right. But we follow that influencer, Alicia McCarville from Nova Scotia.
We do.
And she gets rips apart on the internet.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Because her husband is, like, superficially, if you want to look at her, she's on the larger weight scale. She would be a plus size woman. And he is really muscular. He loves to work out and
he likes to
weight
keep
train
fit.
and everything. And she actually did that at one point in her life, lost a ton of weight and was in like those bodybuilding contests or whatever. And then she just gained all the weight back. And it's taken her numerous years to feel comfortable in her body. And she's just got 1 million followers on Instagram. She's all over the place now on TikTok and Instagram and living her best life with this man. But still, some days she'll be like, the world is a horrible place. Like, they'll write him and be like, wouldn't you rather be with somebody like skinnier and fitter? And
it's terrible.
And like, why? Because that makes that person a better person than her? Probably not. No. And they're high school sweethearts. They've been in love forever. And he worships the ground she walks on, whether she's skinny, which she was at one point, skinny by social terms,
right,
or the way she looks now. Because guess what? She's still the same person on the inside. You can't change your ugly insides.
No,
but you can change your ugly outsides.
We should just say to all the young girls out there, love your body. I mean, it's your body. It's just, it's beautiful no matter what your size or shape is. And nobody should shame you for it. No, I shouldn't have to feel shame because I like to play tennis and I hike. And I actually like to take care of my body.
No. And
oh, I'm sorry.
And the confidence you exude in loving yourself will be what a man falls in love with, will be what a man's attracted to. Because if you're confident about yourself and you exude confidence, that is going to be the most attractive thing to any man or woman out there. It just is. Regardless of a little dimple here or a wrinkle there. Like, you can't love yourself. How the hell are you going to love somebody else? And that is true. Because loving yourself shines through.
Sure it does.
In such a confident way.
Comfortable in your skin. There's nothing more attractive than meeting somebody who truly is comfortable with who they are. I went up with my son to Muskoka for 3 or 4 days, and it was when they started opening up the resorts, and I just had to get out of town. And there was like 2 rooms per floor that were occupied. Remember in COVID? Yeah. It was like, so we were at this resort and there was barely anybody there because they had maximum capacity was like 100 people or whatever. Right. So we did some paddle boarding. It was beautiful. And then we were on this dock and my youngest son was diving and he was swimming and he was having a great time. And I met this couple, the cutest couple. They were sitting in these Muskoka chairs, suntanning. And I would say she would have been maybe in her mid 60s, sitting there rocking this bikini. She just was so comfortable in her body that she was just sitting there. She had a great physical body anyway, but rolls from having babies and stuff. And I thought, and just talking to her, she just exuded this confidence. And I thought, you are one sexy woman.
Yeah.
Because
look at Lizzo.
It didn't matter at all.
Lizzo's out there all the time.
Right.
Lizzo is a huge advocate of, I'm a big girl and I'm going to flaunt it and I love my body. And it's not my problem that my body makes you uncomfortable.
Exactly. Then don't look at me.
Yeah. That's it. And I think that's like the world is cruel enough. I don't think we need to dog people for their own confidence.
No, I agree.
And again, like they always say, anybody's crap that they put on you is their internal crap that they're projecting.
It's so true. People project their own insecurities and that's why people lash out. It's anything that you get that's thrown at you, it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's jump into...
Okay, so this weekend is Mother's Day.
Right.
What you got going on?
Well, my boys asked me what we were going to do for Mother's Day. I don't like a lot of like pre-planning. I just want to hang out with my kids. So we're going to a movie.
Nice. What movie are you going to go see?
I'm such a boy mom, hey? Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay. So this is more for them and less for you.
But it's okay. My youngest is like, I'll buy your ticket.
That's nice.
And my middle son said, I'll get you your snacks. So
nice.
The oldest I haven't heard a peep from, but whatever.
I'm sure he'll just...
He'll do something else. But I thought, you know what? It's just low-key. I don't think this is the first or the last Mother's Day that I will go to a movie with the kids. I just like to hang out with them. I don't need anything else.
Yeah. So we are supposed to go to the Blue Jay game. It's the Alex Manoah bobblehead day.
Nice. So Mother's Day is also, I don't like to make too much of a big deal about it because I think that it's really not a happy day for a lot of people. Right? So, right?
Yeah.
If you've lost a mom recently or
Yeah.
there's a lot of other stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I think it's fun to have time with my boys, especially as they get older. So also wanted to talk about the downloads. Just a quick shout out.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Remember we have we have a following in Belgium, which is pretty cool.
I know.
So we'd love to hear from you. If you could drop us a DM to tell us what's going on, how you found us, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, and you guys might be interested to know that we have an equal number of people downloading our podcast from the States as we do from Canada. So I think our American friends are coming to us from TikTok.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And also love to know where in America you're downloading from because we can't see that. We've streamlined some previews of our podcast there. And we also have on our TikTok, we're starting a little subscription if you want to support us.
Right. And we're going to start posting videos too, even little sneak peeks of us doing our podcast.
Exactly. So we can keep coming to you. This does take a lot of time and effort, and we want to keep doing it. So support us. That would be wonderful.
And
I got a quote.
Yes, you do. It's your quote this week. So
I got two.
remember.
Parenting is fucking hard. Is one.
My God.
And this was for Mother's Day, okay? This isn't. And the other one, the most expensive part of being a mom is all the wine you have to drink. That was my quote. I wanted to keep it fun and light.
That's a good fun and light one. Well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
I do my head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Woo, child, tired of the bullshit. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord. Trying to get some new shit in there. Swimwear, going to the pool shit. Come now, come dry your